The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
Yeah, Earnestly Speaking podcast. Let's get it. I'm a giant in New York, in Miami carry heat. So much more in store, my product can flood the street. Opinion Nation Godfather, CEO. Puff in the late 90s, gon' see me blow. Oh. Got my hustle on, no imitation of that. Army of untouchables, Opinion Nation staff. Never an off season, homie, check the numbers. Heart throb in my own right, supplying southern comfort. Earnestly speaking, my ego is well fed. Earnestly speaking, you're too feeble and no threat. See, I'm like a hurricane, you're a mild breeze. Earnestly speaking, leaving Eli a dynasty. Shake!
Earnestly Speaking podcast. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It is finally, after 7 long and draining weeks, the first student game report of the NFL season. And look who's arrived here. Look at that. Look at that handsome motherfucker there. Kyle Nash with us finally, man. Kyle, we missed you, brother. What's going on?
Hey, no, it's good to be back here. Good to hear G Studio dropping the hot beats as per usual, and hear your voice again, as I'm sure I'm very shortly here going to tear into you. I see your Miami Heat chain there in the background, a very nice piece of memorabilia. It reminds me, as we record this tomorrow night, I will be at the Kia Center covering opening night, where your Heat will come to host the Orlando Magic there. So
yeah, NBA basketball starts tonight. Actually, we get 2 games tonight, and they get the whole rollout tomorrow night. Of course, you know, Kyle, I'll just touch on this on my solo podcast later on today when I record it. You know, one of the things that I'm realizing, and maybe it's old age, or whatever, but
is that better than you and NBA coverage now?
No, shut the fuck up. No, is that I gotta get used to not having TNT anymore. TNT's gone.
That's
jokes,
but that's legit, dude.
It's legit. Like I remember, like people, and granted, we all in a world where NBC was a thing, Peacock, whatever you call it. But TNT has always been a constant. Like TNT was always a constant, even back in 1989, 1990. You know, Ernie Johnson hosted the show by himself. You know, I remember those days. So not having TNT on my docket now to watch for the first time as an NBA fan in general is going to be weird.
Oh, and it's super weird. Let me tack on a little bit more weird, because this past this past week, I didn't watch it personally because I was on the Bounce House covering UCF for the Black and Gold Banneret. But TNT having Big 12 football is an adjustment too. That's odd, very odd. But these are the times we live in right now, EJ Christian. Right? Not only is it for the players in the college ranks to move around and do for them. Contracts changing throughout sports, you know, not just, I mean, obviously with college football, it feels like conference realignment is looming constantly. The playoff structure is constantly changing, though I think we're closer to harmony on that than we are than a lot of other things. Very, very volatile times, and this also is reflecting in the TV rights too. But yeah, Ernie Johnson and company not being on TNT, you know, is odd. I agree.
It's odd. Same thing with you mentioned college. Like same thing. I'm not used to SEC football not being on CBS anymore. It's weird.
Well, Fox has had the SEC for a bit. I've got a little time to adjust to that.
Right, but still, not CBS having it is just weird for me. But like I said, we'll talk about all that stuff later on. I know we're on limited time here because I do have something to do in about an hour. So
I mean, just because I got Big 12 Media Day for Women's Hoops for the Black and Gold Banneret covering UCF, I'm not
a busy guy. And this is you're a busy guy. We can belabor later on why.
For about 10 fewer teams during your episode, I think we could fit it in.
Do you want to ask? You want to tell the listeners why you've been gone for 7 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, well, I know you use your show as more of a kind of a therapy, personal news platform. So yeah, no, I thought you might ask. It's no, I'm not. That's not even trash talk.
No, I know. I know because you're correct on that. You're correct on that.
Buddy, the savings you're realizing of doing this instead of going to a shrink is stupid. I get it. $100 an hour. What are we talking about? Anyway, that being said, yeah, no, it's. I want it to be some, you know, lofty thing. I overcame this or this happened. I mean, I'm doing better with diabetes, I guess. But no, I just got a job. That's all that happened. I am.
Good. because I'm still struggling. But whatever.
Oh no, hey, finding the right meds when you get to that point is very important.
Well, the meds are the meds. Is the behavior. Like I'm working out a lot, which is good. I'm working out a lot. I'm actually walking.
You're
every day,
doing
3
that
miles a
better
day.
than me. For me, the food has been locked in for years. I'm below 300 now for 3 years.
Fasting?
Insane.
Yeah, 2 years for me.
I stay off carbs. I have basically no sugar for all intents and purposes, right? Like I'm not a punk. A kid has a birthday party. I'm going to have a piece of cake at my own kid's birthday party.
What has saved me? I know people want to hear about football in a second, but what has saved me with all this is fasting. The fasting has saved me because at least if even if you eat the bad shit, it's a limited window.
Yeah, if you utilize it right, that you make sleep part of your fasting, you'd be surprised how absolutely manageable fasting is. So technically speaking, the answer to your question is yes, when I don't have adrenaline from a show or covering a sports event, which unfortunately is most of the days of the week right now. So I'm a little off, even though my numbers came in good last checkup or whatever. But
very good.
And if you're working out, that's a big step too. That's the one I'm going to get right
like I said, one of these days, like when we have a better episode to this one with no restrictions around us, we can dive a little more into that.
Right.
Buy or sell here for me, because I'm here. I'm buying this already.
Do it.
Kyle Shanahan's coach of the year right now in the NFL. It's a buy for me.
I see the defense. It's too early. Can we? If he's not winning the West, okay. The Rams are too damn good. And I think by default, McVay's a better choice just because of the way stuff's gone, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, at this time, 3 months ago, we were wondering if the Rams would even exist with all the back stuff that was coming up in camp with John Matthew Stafford, right? The one game that he's without Puka Nacua in London facing his former protege, Liam Cohen, facing the Jacksonville Jaguars, which obviously I covered as a member of the Duval Dive. And for my final article with the Fans First Sports Network, The Good, the Bad, and the Spotty, check that out. Mm-hmm. But that piece right there, that no Puka Nacua, and his squad puts up 35 against the defense, granted without Devin Lloyd, that leads the league in turnovers, is impressive.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not even thinking so much of the gap in the scoring. A lot of that was on decisions made by both Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence going for it on fourth down 6 times in that game, for example. But no Puka Nacua, no problem. And reminding the world that, hey, maybe Devontae Adams is pretty good. Throw that out there. But he also did it by gashing a little bit in the run game where possible. The Jags obviously did their part, throwing a butt ton of defensive penalties. Mm-hmm. It's how you score 5 touchdowns in one game passing and do it throwing less than 200 yards in the football game. That's defensive penalties. Period. Point blank. End of story. I digress. The answer to your question is, I'm going to go full Rich Eisen on this. It's not an overreaction, but in other years, it would be a hell yeah.
The thing is that, and me and my Niners thing, like I always, I go ahead and Niners. I believe in that culture. He doesn't have Brock Purdy for now.
You're a Niners fan now? Jesus
Christ. No, stop it. No Brock Purdy for 4 weeks now, 5 weeks at least. Okay, you had a decimated receiving core right now. Isn't Fred Warner up for the year?
He is.
Okay, you have all these things happening around them.
Tatum Bethune playing,
right? And oh, by the way, they're not just winning games just because of the schedule. They're winning games against teams that are pretty decent. Atlanta coming off a win against Buffalo last week. You beat the Rams on the road. A little bit of luck there, but it's still a win.
Should have beat the Jags if you didn't drop the ball 6 times.
Right. They have quality wins to make that conversation warranted. To me, through 7 weeks, the best coaching performance has been Kyle Shanahan, and it's kind of gone on the radar because the Niners are 5-2, but no one's talking about it.
Nobody's talking about it because nobody knows who the hell's on the roster other than.
It's my point.
Again, to your point, it's not that I think it's. This is the Forrest Gump defense, okay? If you look at the year in the Oscars where Forrest Gump won, there were other movies that in other years would win the Oscar, right? Mm-hmm. I think you're having that situation here, and we've had it in other years. It's come up before. I think 2 years ago, you and I had a very deep discussion in an outright lightsaber duel. Even though I think we picked the same guy, right. The only part where you've been obviously wrong lately, in my opinion, about the coach of the year is 2012. But we don't have to bring, or 2022 rather. But we don't have to bring up how Brian Daboll continues to fail, and I continue to be righter and righter with every passing year. But
more of that later.
More of that later. Yeah, exactly. No, but if Shanahan gets votes, I'm not mad at it. Of course.
Okay. What do you think of the Jaxson Dart's impact so far on the Giants 4 weeks in?
I'm more impressed with Scadaboo's impact, man. Holy snap. Like, okay, who had going to Marvel Comics and casting the Juggernaut as a running back, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't get to cover him directly with the black and gold banneret because A, the game was in Arizona, B,
right.
He didn't play that game. Right?
Oh,
so I didn't get to see him go to work, especially against the good defensive tackle core that the UCF defense has. But to watch this dude full on, people make jokes. Oh, well, he's only going to have a 3-year running back career. Okay, maybe. But I'm enjoying watching him now. This is Mike Allstott somewhere shed a tear. That's all I'm saying.
he's Mike Allstott, but much more
rambunctious.
He's smaller in a sense. Like he's stocky, but he feels like a running back, not a fullback. You know what I'm saying?
I think there's an accuracy to that. Yeah. That being said, to say they're not the same style runner, and I can argue Scadaboo is more dangerous depending on the scenario, being a more compact dude. It is way harder to stop the bowling ball than it is the tall back, right?
But it's clear, though, the Giants got the quarterback, right? It seems very clear that.
I am surprised that Jaxson Dart is doing as well as he is, but let's also remember that we have seen quarterbacks come out with a spike and then end up,
I think of Josh Freeman from Tampa years ago. Remember that one? He had a great rookie year, and then he fell off a cliff literally the next year.
Let's pump the brakes on great, but he had something to build on. It was at least good, and then to your right, completely distant.
Yeah. I will say that the team is. I mean, the team
kind of like C.J. Stroud, but we ain't have to talk. We're not allowed to talk about that, even though in fairness, it's not his fault.
That's going to be something we have to dissect very soon, because the C.J. Stroud thing it's weird. It's really weird.
It's not. I saw it coming when they got rid of Laramie Tunsil, and I'll leave it at that.
Right. Absolutely. Will the Cowboys reach 9 wins this year? I saw background for you may not know this, actually.
Please.
A buddy of mine,
Cowboys fan, inform me.
Right. So, a buddy of mine who's a Cowboys fan, not me.
We
have a bet. No, we have a bet that the Cowboys. I said the Cowboys win 9+ games this year. He said no. This is before the year started. Okay.
Good God, you had that much faith in them then? EJ Christian.
Now, mind you, this is before Micah trade also too. So had I not known that, I would have probably been sitting in the bet. Right. Having said that, now they're 3-2. I think they're 3-2-1 right now. We're going to week 8. Will they get there?
I'm looking at their schedule as you pose this very interesting question.
I have it here too. Also, we can go through it together.
Yeah, and they have the 3 wins already, right? The next I see, and I'm not going to list through the teams and stuff, but in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, I see 2 winnable games, possibly 3 if they supplant the Broncos. I'm not sure that I would chalk that as a win, but it's possible. Depending on the health of the Chargers, such as they are as they come up on Christmas. Sunday before Christmas there on the 21st. I'm sure we'll talk about that on the Bolt Blitz Uncut. But that's the thing. I see 2 more wins in that 5 span. Maybe they get the Chargers and they can close out. I don't know if they can beat the Commanders again. That's tough. So I'm only seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 more wins. You're only at 7.
What Minnesota?
Maybe I was just about to get there. Good call.
Yeah.
Maybe they beat Minnesota. You're only at 8. You're in trouble, buddy.
So I'm looking at the next one real quick. So I look at the Broncos as a toss-up game. Arizona should be a win. Right. Arizona and Raiders should be a win. Philadelphia is always weird because it's a divisional rivalry game.
That could get you to 8 as well.
Yeah, could as well too. Chiefs, I'm going to give it. They're back. So I'm going to say a loss. Detroit.
They're the same. They are who we thought they were. All these other idiots thought they were dead. Mistakes.
You're not wrong. Detroit, that's going to be a Detroit win. I'm sorry, Detroit's another level right now. Everybody else. Minnesota, I think Minnesota Chargers are going to be interesting because I think those teams are, and this year too also is presented the fact that week to week anything can happen.
And has happened, right? We mentioned the aforementioned Chargers here.
Just going to get there.
In the division, then drop in the next, I think it was the next. No, it ended up being 4 and 2.
3 last 4. Because they beat Miami. Should have been 4 in a row because they should have lost to Miami last week.
God only knows what Booga would have said if there was power in his house at the time of the recording, but I digress. Who knows? Maybe he cut the line so we didn't have to do the show. Shout out to Booga Peters. But no, it's not as nuts as I thought. It makes more sense now than it did when you said it back then. You're out of your fucking gourd.
And Kyle. Yeah, and Kyle, they should have 2 more wins on their Green Bay should be the win. They had the game by the rights.
The fact that was only a tie is surprising. Let's be honest.
They should have lost that game first off, and the fact they won, they should almost. It feels like a win because they remember no CeeDee Lamb and then the Carolina game, they had that game won, and they blew that lead.
Cowboy, what do you want me to tell you?
Exactly. So again, their offense is fantastic. It's the defense is the problem. So do I get there? Yes or no?
Tell me you've heard that again. I told you. I think you're in trouble, buddy. Do you?
Okay. No, fair enough.
Here's why you're in trouble. You need a victory over the defending Super Bowl champions to get the win. Here's the thing, and I'm going to use one of your favorite words: the optics.
Yes,
in Philly.
I love that word.
Not great, Bob. Okay, so I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying you're nuts. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you are in trouble.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. 100% agree with you. Speaking of, I was going to get to the point about Dak Prescott being MVP when I'm in conversation if the record was better. Give me your top 5, not in order. If you have an order, fine, go ahead. But you have to do an order. Your top 5 MVP candidates right now.
No, and I don't blame you for casting the proverbial ballot here. I know someone it isn't. And
who is it isn't?
It's not Josh Allen right now, right? And
no, I agree with you. I agree with 100% on that one. Yes.
Earlier in the year, you were out of your fucking mind picking Baker Mayfield. Then more guys got hurt, and Baker's still been great. You got to at least look at it. He's at least a candidate, in a third of the way into the season. He's a candidate.
Yeah, he's my leader up to last night.
Yeah. I'm in a tough spot with Puka Nacua because before he didn't play in Jacksonville, he's on pace for a 2,000-yard season. More to come because after that win in the win in London over Jax and a bye where they play the aforementioned Saints, I'm not sure if and when Puka Nacua comes back, but if he breaks 1,700, I think he should be on the list. Still no idea on how that works, right?
Mm-hmm.
I say you want 5. That's the thing. Football has been so fucking drunk this year.
The whole thing. College too.
No, I think that's some sort of a drug. I think that's some sort of cocaine, perhaps. Because it just doesn't know what it's like. If Cam Cataboo could be personified, it is the college football season. It's just woo! It does basically whatever the hell it wants, but whatever you think is right, it runs it the fuck over. That's that's how I kind of feel about college football, right?
Yeah.
Like I think I have some there on that. No, let me go back to the MVP conversation.
You said Puka, Baker.
And of course you got to give Patrick LaVon Mahomes the second to look at this point, don't you? Like before the Jags petered out, I would have asked you to take a look at Travis Etienne, and then remember he has an entire core of running backs, so it ain't him. Jonathan Taylor needs to be a conversation.
There you go. Boom.
If we're going to go running backs, let's be honest. Can we stop talking about Indiana Jones? He is what the Vikings wanted JJ McCarthy to be. Just do what you're supposed to do when we ask you to do it. Actually, although the defense isn't close to being quite as good, Danny Dimes in Indy has the look and feel of a young Russell Carrington Wilson. Great running back behind him, great roster surrounding him on both sides, doing great things in a weak division back then, but it was basically them and the Niners at the time, right? So,
I see that. Yep.
That's something to consider, I think.
That's 4. I like that 4. I love that 4 for record.
Yeah, no. And you got to think about Christian McCaffrey, don't you?
Especially now with the record and who they don't have.
Right, because he is it, man.
And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think you mentioned of the 5 guys you mentioned there. I don't think you mentioned only one quarterback.
Accurate.
I like that. That's good.
I mean, quarterback play has taken a hit overall, and there's a number of reasons for it. And it's funny. I just had this conversation offline with an old acquaintance of mine, Peter Clark. You may remember him vaguely.
Of course.
Going back years ago. He and I had a good conversation that quarterbacks, I've said it on your show plenty, EJ Christian, where the physical talents of a quarterback have become outright essential. But because of that, because quarterbacks have that weapon to get them out of trouble, instead of throwing the ball away quick, they're trying to escape and getting sacked sometimes when doing it because teams are starting to look for it, and they have more athletic dudes to stop you, which kind of started in the age of J.J. Watt and Ndamukong Suh and Aaron Donald, right?
Right.
So you're taking sacks more than you're getting, to live the fight to the next down, and you're losing yards in doing that. By the way, if you want any example of what that looks like, just watch Trevor Lawrence the past 2 weeks.
Right.
No disrespect to the Jags, sorry. But yeah, that's what that looks like. And I think there's an element of that makes that the case here. Other positions are shining because quarterback play overall is either distributive or money is sunk into a guy that can't produce, not to mention any particular names, Cleveland, but
one more thing. If I get to coach, I got two more things to get to in terms of like NFL coaching panic meter and then Super Bowl pretender. The Ravens, bye week's over. They're 1-5. Are they dead in your eyes? Are they still alive?
It's a wild card chance at best, buddy. Right? Especially in that division. Granted, the Bengals are a non-factor, and the Browns be browning. The Steelers keep doing Steeler shit, man. They keep finding a goddamn way. People doubt them every year, and I still insist on picking them to get their 10 wins. And who's right more often?
That's right. Now, the thing is, though, you lose a game like that to Cincinnati last week, it's not a good sign.
Of course, but you know what else it is? What is it, EJ? Come on, man. You just cited it for fucking Eagles and Cowboys. Fuck optics. It's the division.
Division. Although this year people.
Can we add? No, don't just do this. Oh, well, the Bengals. It was Joe Flacco. He does that shit.
The Flacco thing only works if that line can hold up. I have no faith that line will be that good week to week. That line was great on Thursday.
You're not wrong. First of all, yes, and.
Right.
Flacco did them plenty of favors. He is the antithesis of what I just described. Right? He gets the fucking ball out. You know who else does that? Let me crank off some names. Sam Darnold. Right? The other one who might be an MVP candidate if you're into that.
Oh, yeah. I'm
John Matthew Stafford. Not Darnold. John Matthew Stafford, potential MVP candidate.
Okay, yep.
I'm going to pull in Christian. He's in my top 10, but not my top 5, right? And how can he be if Puka Nacua is lifting it? That's why I said that. That one's weird and in flux, man.
It's by proxy. Like
Puka's getting dude. That's all there is to it. Yeah. Next question. Yeah.
Here's the reason why the Ravens are still alive, though. Number one, the division, but for the wrong reasons. Number two, their schedule next 5 weeks. Okay, here's their schedule next 5 weeks. Okay, Bears, pretty the football, but Bears at home. Dolphins, winnable. At Dolphins, at Vikings, at Browns. Jets, and then the Bengals. That's your next 6 games. They can go 5-1 there.
I agree.
Lamar's back.
Julius Jackson, yes.
Okay, they go 5-1. All of a sudden, now they're sitting at 5-5, 5-6. And I think
a wild card's chance.
Right, and I think a 9-win team will get in the playoffs this year in the AFC.
I won't rule it out.
Yeah, so that opens the door for that, of course. And that's before you get to the Steelers games. If they beat the Steelers, I mean, I asked a lot to beat them twice, but you beat them twice, now you're back in the division now.
Let's see. The Steelers have to F up too, which, again, not beyond the realm of possibility.
If there's any team that can have the capability of running off 7 straight wins, it's the Ravens because Lamar Jackson. You've seen it in absence.
Schedule.
Right, and the schedule, too, on top of that. You know, like we know the deficiencies, obviously, and they're concerning. So as a Super Bowl team, I put pause, this caused a pause. However,
wins championships and they ain't got it.
Absolutely. But to get back into the race at least and to fix your problems on the fly,
sure,
this team can do it. Lamar is that good. I mean, again, when talking about MVPs, Lamar not being there the last couple of weeks, not saying they would have won those games, but the way they lost those games tells you how valuable Lamar is, that team.
Yeah, I mean, the best way you can help a defense sometimes is to keep an offense on the field.
Correct. Correct. All right. Let's play coaching panic meter. I know this is like normally we haven't seen you in some weeks. We're trying to get all the shit in, as much as we can. Coaching panic meters. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 coaches. 1 to 10. 10 being hottest seat in the world. 1 being he good. All right. Mike McDaniel.
10.
Yes. 25.
Close. Actually, yeah, 25. That's not a bad answer either.
He's
The
cooked.
building is imploding because the infrastructure is melting. Okay.
Right. Absolutely. Brian Daboll, Giants.
7. I think they're going to do something dumb and keep him because now he's got the quarterback that air quotes he wants.
I want to go 5. I'm going to go 6 though, because I think that loss on Sunday, the way they lost the game
by 1. I'm actually very surprised by that. Okay.
But the way they lost the game, you got to figure they're looking and say, okay, hold on, wait, but I've been saying
held against him. I agree, but again, keep in mind can we be clear? Daboll's not going to get fired in the middle of the fucking season. That's
no. I agree with that.
Well, there's still a butt ton of resume to bury that if it could still turn around. That's why I have it at 7 rather than lower.
And he's also attached to Jaxson Dart because again, it's about the development. That's the
point I was making. Exactly.
Right. Yeah. So I think as long as the development's okay, wins and losses don't really necessarily matter for this team going forward. If Dart is the guy, because that's the guy he selected Dart. This is the guy he wanted. So it's on him now. All right, sorry, but I'm in 6 in the meantime, though. This is a good one. John Harbaugh in Baltimore.
-47. What the fuck are we talking about? This dude has 1 bad year. You're going to lose your fucking mind? Get out of here.
I don't know, bro. The shit's out there. I'm just saying.
It's a stupid stat of, he has the most double-digit losses. And it ain't. By the way, here it is again. Your optics on that aren't great. But can we please analyze to whom those games are typically lost? Patrick Mahomes II among all of them, right? Can we do some analysis on who else Patrick Mahomes II has done that to? Okay. The Rams, they encounter the Chiefs often. This is a thing that happens. I think that's I without having looked it up, I'm willing to bet at least a third and maybe as many as half are to Patrick Mahomes II. The other half probably involved Joey Burr.
Would you agree before the year started that it was Super Bowl bust for Harbaugh? Like getting there?
I'm not bust. Well, I mean, if by bust you mean bad season, yes. If by he gets fired if they don't get a Lombardi, no.
Because he does have built-in excuses right now to save his job. This is weird because he has the injuries excuse. He has Lamar's injury excuse to use as a
defense. I think is a bigger one. But to your point, they're both present.
Yeah. So actually, the funny thing is that it has gone sideways, but for a different reason. So I think his odd standing as a coach now increases with the struggles because of the things that happened. So
franchises like that, they don't just fire, they don't change coaches like they do socks, man. That's not how they operate.
True. Yeah, they're very.
I'm changing it's not -47. It's a -147.
It's very Steelers-like the way they run the team. Very Steelers-like.
You mean like a good franchise?
Right,
I don't care how you feel about the team. Maybe you cheer against them, maybe you don't. But they're a fine franchise.
I'll go 3 now instead of like 7, 8. I was before the year started. All right, Sean McDermott at Buffalo. This,
boy, and this one's harder. I'm going to say 6 on general principle.
Mm-hmm.
People accuse Belichick of riding Brady's coattails, and it's absolutely fucking false. McDermott, I can certainly argue there's an element of that with Allen. Now, granted, the short term where the Jags had success, he was in the building, but that didn't last either. God, that's hard. The reason why the chances are, I'm going to even go 7. The reason why the chances are high is because there's a chance the GM takes the fall for the Bills' regression, for lack of a better word, this season.
Yeah.
I don't think I need a different word. Regression counts. I think if the GM takes the fall for that, McDermott's in the wash too. So I'm going to say 7.
Okay, I'm going to 5. I have the same idea as you do. I think there's going to be some pressure there. I think this is a team that
more pressure on the GM than a 5, but I'll leave that.
Right. I will say that talk about Harbaugh being Super Bowl bust. I think this is a guy also right there on the very fringe of the same thing too. Also,
yeah. If there was a franchise Super Bowl or bust this year, the Ravens, sure, they have the conversation. A lot of people pick them. The Bills, having this trauma from back in the 90s as well as a franchise, I think it's even harder on them, especially in a weak ass AFC East where people are trying to pretend Drake May is a thing.
Ooh, more on that later. I got that kid up for you. I know how this works. Aaron Glenn, the Jets.
I mean, it's 1 year. Like,
well, it is 1 year, but teams
yeah,
get stupid. Teams are stupid too.
Sure. I will put that as a 6 just on general principle, but he shouldn't go. Yeah.
I'm going to go 3 only because of the fact that I think they're tired of firing coaches. I think it's the tired of firing
Something
coaches.
to be said for new coach fatigue and trying to build consistency. I agree with that.
Yeah,
and Glenn, to your point, is a guy you could build consistency with. But again, you've negated your own point that the Jets are dumb.
I'm watching number one. Number 2, I'm watching the Jets and body language, and as long as he's not lost the locker room, he's fine.
Yeah, I think the guys are with him so far.
Yeah. And he's a former Jet, so like he has history there. So
I forgot
they'll lean into that.
Yeah.
All right. How about Kevin Stefanski in Cleveland?
This is going to be odd. You talk about having the built-in excuse. There's no better built-in effing excuse than what the hell is going on in Cleveland. 2.
Same. 2, maybe even 1, I say, because I think he's doing a good job in spite of the issues.
Is because the Browns might Brown and fire him. To your
right, and only that, I think he's doing a good job in spite of the situation.
Agreed.
Honestly,
1,000,000,000%.
Right.
I mean, I don't agree with him starting, the sock hawker Dylan Gabriel, but
yeah, you're not in the same boat on that one. Definitely on that one. But yeah, and finally, Zach Taylor in Cincinnati.
That's really hard because it depends entirely on. I felt the spirit in that one. You heard?
Yeah, yes, you did.
It is entirely how much of an impact he has on personnel decisions that should determine that, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah.
The number's 5.
I'll go 3. The Burrow injury gives him a built-in excuse.
I also need to know if Burrow likes him. Let's be honest. That's what's going to drive the conversation over.
Well, we haven't heard that yet. We haven't heard anything about him not liking him. So that's
correct.
A good sign,
exactly.
I guess.
Yeah.
So
you got it.
All right. That's one game done. Okay. Second game here. Again, we're doing this all on one shoot because we don't want to see you again. Super Bowl, not playoff. Super Bowl contender or pretender. Now everybody has their own way of describing what a contender is, pretender is.
A Super Bowl contender is capable of making the next to last game with a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
Correct. That's my way I look at it. Do I see this team playing in the AFC or NFC championship game this year?
Conference Championship Sunday. Got you.
Yeah, the last good week of football anyway. All right, first team, New England Patriots.
The fuck out of here. Next.
It's a pretender, right? you see no scenario they're playing style game this year.
No. Are you shitting me? You think an ACC quarterback's going to pull this off just because they strung a few wins together because they've hired somebody who's not a complete waste of time as a coach who the Titans shouldn't have fired in the first place? I fucking said it, EJ Chris.
You did say it. You have been one of the biggest Drake May critics out there going back to North Carolina.
Hold on. It's correct by proxy, but what's the truth, EJ Christian?
What is it?
I said it at the lead. What did I say? He's a what?
I missed it. I'm sorry.
He's a what quarterback?
He's not white. He's white.
He's an ACC quarterback, you racist asshole. I said the same shit about Sam Howell, and I got resistance there. And what the fuck happened?
Do you see what you're seeing with Drake May now? Do you see this sustaining?
In only one fashion possible, which it can lead to winning football. And we're talking about Mike Vrabel. The reason why I believe there is a loose, and I mean loose, chance, like looser than like the tooth in my son's mouth right now is a 6-year-old who's waiting for the tooth fairy here. Okay. That loose.
Yep.
Okay. It's a hell of a reference, but game management. Ryan Tannehill got a team deep in the playoffs with Mike Vrabel.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, there's Derrick Henry and a lot of other talented elements that help with that.
Right.
But a game manager quarterback, as we've seen, he says as a 49er fan, can get you places. I just don't think the Patriots are that.
All right. The Colts.
God, it's really hard for me to take them.
Because I agree with you on a pretender for the Patriots, just because I don't see it. However, I am in a place now where I believe they are a contender because I think what they do better than anybody else in the AFC outside of the Chiefs.
So here's the bullshit of the Colts, if I may. If we were on a different podcast that, constantly fans the flames of the SEC being overrated. And no, that's not necessarily the Huddle Up podcast. I mean, I hear the same thing on the Dose Grande, Locked On Big 12, a lot of other places.
Mm-hmm.
If you were in one of those spaces and the Colts were an SEC team, they'd be screaming fraud from the fucking rooftop.
Of course they would.
Okay. Now, here's who I think the Colts are. I think they're the Bucs. Remember when Jameis Winston started out there, and the Bucs' biggest issue was he had a lot of touchdowns, but he had nearly as many interceptions, right? Mm-hmm. And then it was always said, you could put any quarterback in there and they'd make the postseason. Now they overcorrected and got Thomas Edward Patrick Brady.
The quarterback. Right.
Yeah. Well, in the eyes of many, shall we say, certainly more than capable, a legendary quarterback, though he may not be the GOAT.
There you go again.
And the real experiment comes into play, right? Your boy, Baker Mayfield, revitalizes his career, proving what that roster was in Tampa. Mm-hmm. All of that to say, I think Dimes is experiencing that with Indy. And I think Indy has had a great roster for a while and has just gotten the quarterback wrong for so very long, right?
Correct.
How close were they to winning a fucking playoff game with Old Man Rivers at quarterback?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody forgets that, but it went wrong when they went to Carson Wentz, separate conversation, and it never got right or close to right since. What was the closest that got? Joe Flacco or Gardner Minshew? Like, bruh.
Gardner Minshew.
Okay, so you're taking Minshew over Flacco. Fine. And I'm not trying to debate that, but what I'm saying is if that was your ceiling at quarterback before, Dimes is your Baker Mayfield.
So contender or pretender?
Yeah, I said a lot just to say I don't fucking know, right? I'm going to say pretender for now.
Okay.
I need to see more.
Mm-hmm. The only reason I'm saying contender is this. If I knew the Ravens were better,
I mean, how many years?
If I knew the Ravens were better and the Bills weren't overrated, I'd say okay, fine, pretender, because I don't see any way them getting past Angels teams. At this point, I think outside the Chiefs, I think they're better. Outside Josh Allen, I think they're better than Buffalo. What do they do better than?
They're more complete than Buffalo. I'm
correct.
Not going to say they're better than Buffalo.
That's what I'm saying. Right.
And here's the thing: if they play the Jags, can you guarantee a victory against the Jaguars as the Colts?
I don't know if I'm saying guarantee. The Jags are weird.
The hesitation is my point exactly.
It's a weird matchup because they give them problems every year. There's that weird matchup. I can't guarantee it yet. I got to see it.
If they split the Jags, I'll talk.
Yeah. If they sweep the Jags, though, then maybe have a conversation.
Duh.
Yeah, there you go. All right, the Commanders.
No, not yet.
They were there last year.
It's not that I think, well, and they got there, let's just say, it's because people weren't prepared for Jaden Daniels, right? And now, man, listen, I'm taking nothing from Jaden Daniels. I thought he was the good since I saw him in person at the kickoff class over here in Orlando where they beat the snot out of your Knowles.
Thanks for the reminder. Appreciate it.
What can I say except you're welcome? But
fuck you, man.
Hey, fuck you, Betty. Anyway, you care. Anyway,
fuck you, cat. I need a soundbite.
No, you're so bad. I'm surprised you don't have it already. I'm just not there yet. They're close. Mm-hmm. Do I see them winning a playoff game? Yes. Do I see them winning 2? Maybe. Not
this year. I'm a no now. I think this team, too many injuries. Daniel's probably off a little bit now. On top of that, yep. And I think the NFC is just better now. And we knew there'd be a regression to the mean a little bit for this team, but I think it's a lot more than we realize. And I think the NFC being better across the board is going to hurt them too. And now Dallas is playing better football now on top of that. So they have a problem in the division. So
yeah, now that the Niners are a non-factor, I feel like other teams are catching up. The Lions, they're not worse, but I think the window's starting to close a bit.
For Detroit?
Yeah. But it's more because everybody else is catching up. I think you make a good point there.
Yeah. All right, next team here, the Steelers. Do you see scenario them playing the style game?
No, but I am prepared to be wrong. Just because of the style of football they play, man. And Aaron Charles Rodgers, supported by a good run game, is like Drew Brees. Is Drew Brees? Drew Brees is quarterback middle name material. I need to learn that.
Okay. Well, I mean, that dude is only Hall of Famer. No big deal.
Yeah, it's got 5,000 yards. And the next quarterback to get 5,000 yards after
a little overrated. We'll go there, but that's about it.
Overrated doesn't mean bad.
Doesn't mean bad. I guess I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
You think he's over? That's can we table that. I think that's an interesting exploration.
I'm going pretender too also because I don't trust them to get to the.
Hubba, money. Who do you trust?
I'll take Indy over them right now. I'll take the Chiefs over them right now. I'll take Buffalo. That's 3 teams right there. And I think
you see that's interesting. I think the Steelers and Colts are in similar ground. I just think that the Steelers have been there so much longer in that middle space that people are starting to fatigue on that. Yeah.
I just think in the middle of the AFC, a team that the Chargers are healthy, they can beat them also too. So one of those things where like that's
the Chargers. A healthy Chargers team battling the Colts would have been a much better game than they got.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Yeah. Well, they're on the list, Chargers. They're on the list. A little bit.
I got to see their O-line and Khalil Mack get right before I even broach that topic.
Yeah, I'm a fan as well too on them as well. The Ravens.
No, not yet.
Not yet. I'm going to say yes still because caveat of course.
Die hard, Ernest Christian.
Caveat, I understand that, but Lamar is back, and because he's back in the building, we have to consider it. Okay, until that team is dead and gone,
Lamar, it's a contender. That's not a horrible.
That's the only reason. That is the only reason. That is the only reason. Okay. Otherwise, this team is fucking dead to rights. All right.
That's not a horrible take. I just don't agree with it. There's a difference.
You're Niners.
Fuck no.
No way to get us a game. No way to get through the Rams or the Seahawks.
They don't have enough, man. They don't have enough.
It's pretender because of the fact that conference is too fucking good. Put me in the AFC. I haven't conference.
They can't win that division right now, man. And again, this is not this is a football team that's fun to watch, even though they're lost so much of their roster and they're fighting through all the injuries that they have, and some of the losses are just self-inflicted friggin' wounds, dude. Like, they're not contenders, but they're a good football team to watch. Call me a homer if you want, because if you want to know what resolve looks like, it wears red and gold, dude.
Yeah. Again, coach of the year, Kyle Shanahan. And by the way,
an interesting take.
I think they're regretting paying Purdy, bro. I think they're regretting it already because Mac Jones is fucking balling.
Who called this shit?
You did.
Next.
Just saying. Speaking of the division, Seahawks.
No. Seahawks are a good team. They are not a great team.
So I'm still pretender too, but I'm seeing things now.
Sure.
And then you look at the NFC. How many teams are clearly better than Seattle? Okay, I'll give you Detroit. Maybe even Philadelphia. I mean Philly. The Rams clearly better than Seattle. Clearly.
Yes. Because they're more complete.
Yeah. I guess they haven't played it this year either. So we'll see. Those games are going to matter a lot now.
Either way, I'm just saying.
That's right. So I'm still pretenders for you as well, but let's wait and see.
Don't let that Thursday night game against the Niners fool you. The Niners just kind of friggin' do that to the Rams, man. It's
they did it to the Rams, right? So you right there. There you go.
It's just a bad matchup. I don't think that you don't grade the Rams for the year off of that game because that shit always happens with San Fran. I have no idea why.
And again, every team has one bad loss this year.
I'm watching it, but I don't know why.
And again, every team has one bad loss this year. Every team, including the Eagles, lost to us. Come on now.
Especially
the Bucks.
Here's your spicy take. Yes.
I'm there too.
Yes. If they get their pieces back to where they can.
Caveat there, of course. Receiver is back.
And they're already winning the games without him. If I told you that I believe in them because of Baker Mayfield and their defense, I'd sound like I'm on friggin' drugs, but here's where I am.
Todd Bowles, brother. Todd Bowles.
Very appreciated. I loved him with the Jets. He was a Jets coach that was good.
Notice all the Jets players and coaches that go somewhere else, they flourish. Darnold.
I know Jets fans said that shit.
I mean, it's insane, bro. It's a contender.
His name's Zach Wilson. Moving on.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. He can't be rehabbed. No, the Bucks are easy contender for me. Even last night against the Lions, 24-9.
It's
but
the fucking Lions, bruh.
And only that game was still competitive.
It's more competitive than the score. I'll allow that.
Right.
Sure.
I'm there. I mean Baker Mayfield. All right. You said Chargers earlier already. So Chargers are contender. You said no pretender.
No, I said hell to the no.
Because of the injuries. The Packers.
No. I don't love what Jordan does there. They don't have quite enough yet.
They are the most complicated team in the NFL, in my opinion, because
confusing, perhaps. I don't go with complicated. They don't play how they're supposed to. There's nothing complicated about it.
Right. They should be Dallas. They should be 5-1 right now. And yet these last couple of weeks, I'm like, okay, what the hell am I watching here? You know what I'm saying? I'll say contenders slightly, But my God, I got to see another quality win. It's been a little while. It's been a little while.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Yep. Finally, your Jaguars.
No.
Okay. Okay.
This O-line is an improvement. Will they compete for the division? The only reason they're not the outright front runners is because the Colts did this shit. But the Jags, I called the Jags an 8-win team before the season started. I looked silly for a while. I'm starting to look more correct. It's a matter. I know people call Trevor Lawrence a 5th-year quarterback. He's not. People it's just funny. Hey, you basically have to take out the year with Urban Meyer, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah," and then they instantly forget and call him a 5-year quarterback. It's right.
Yeah.
I don't think Doug Peterson in the later part of the tenure did his any favors to Trevor for developing a quarterback. And when you really think about it, Doug Peterson hasn't developed a quarterback. Trevor is just now getting to the point where teams are respecting his legs, and he's at the point of a young quarterback going, "Hey, I can't do that shit anymore." They're looking for it. If you need an example, just watch the past 2 NFC West losses the Jags experienced, okay? It's on the film, clear as fucking day. So here's where Liam Cohen potentially earns his Coach of the Year opportunity. Is by that's the biggest bunch of propaganda. We'll talk about that later.
I love that shit, dude. I'm sorry.
I'm not mad at you. I'm just saying it's propaganda. But that's if Trevor can learn to throw the ball away and look more like Darnold and Stafford, not play as good as them necessarily, but pick up the habit of getting rid of the ball quick instead of forcing a play to happen, the Jags will be a better football team overall.
Right. All right. I got a couple minutes here. Let's go ahead and plug in here real quick. The latest in college football. I am going to present to you right now the current AP Top 25. If this thing will respond to me saying, there we go. Sorry about that. There we go. Right there. Perfect. Sorry. Here's your current AP Top 25 right now in college football. We'll focus on a top 10 for now, but my God, NIL has changed things. The 12-team playoffs changed things. Your top 10 right now, 1 to 10 in order. Ohio State 1, Indiana at number 2, A&M, Texas A&M number 3, Alabama number 4, Georgia 5, Oregon 6, Georgia Tech at 7, Ole Miss at 8. The Miami Hurricanes dropped to 9, and Vanderbilt at number 10. Kyle, looking at the top 10, look at the whole thing in general. What stands out to you right now? This crazy, wacky college
Vanderbilt, duh! What are we doing here? They're number 10, and I can make the argument they should be no fewer than 3 spots higher. It's only politics that has them that low, because they'll start to whine and bitch and complain if they're ahead of the ACC the way they should be.
I tend to agree. To me, I'm so impressed with Alabama. Like, if you had told me after week 1 that you lose to Florida State in blowout fashion, and we're now calling for Caleb DeBoer's head, and then all of a sudden, not even a full 2 months after, they're now number 4 in the country again.
I mean, on the strength of the fact that Vandy wins looking a lot sweeter than it did at the time.
Exactly.
They're a bounce back story, but they'll get hate just because they had a coach that coached there. What is it, 3 years ago now? So that's a fair answer, I suppose.
All right. Indiana 2. What do you think?
Lame.
Why is it lame?
I mean, buddy, what are we doing? Shall we go through the schedule?
Okay.
Illinois, who at the time was 9th and shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
The most impressive win on here might be that, or you can try to feed me Oregon, another team that was ranked very highly that probably shouldn't have been.
You and I agree on Oregon. I think I always said they were for Gazy. And I said it before the first loss. And then when they lost, like, yep, there you go, boom.
And not for nothing, like, with no disrespect outright to Oregon, I see their schedule is what it is. And the reason why they're propped is because they have that quality loss that's a fraud in Indiana, right? Oklahoma State has been terrible. Penn State has been revealed as fraudulent and still hasn't been punished. Oregon still hasn't been punished for it. So, yeah, do better, committee. Again, the Ohio State at number 1 is great. That's fine. Indiana's bullcrap. I'm sorry. No disrespect to UCF quarterback Taven Jackson, who transferred in from Indiana. But, no, this is not a good football team.
Damn. Okay. Notre Dame's back at number 12 after 0-2 start.
I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
Look at this list also that stands out. Miami number 9. Shocking loss, Louisville.
Too high.
That's a bad loss, right? Louisville?
Louisville should knock you out of the top 10.
Ooh,
With no disrespect, Coach Cristobal is cool. I've talked to the guy. I made an awkward mistake with him at one point. We'll talk about that on a different podcast, but we don't have time now.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Nothing else here stands out to me. That's crazy, but it's been a wacky year, man. To me, is Ohio State bust at this point now? In your opinion, or do you see a surprise?
They're certainly the front runner, and I don't think it's close. Yeah, put the farm on them until there's an injury. Yeah,
I would have said them in Miami until last Friday, and then like, what the fuck? Never mind.
Yeah, no, I mean, people who are not fans of Ryan Day must be hating life right now.
Yeah. What do you think? Yeah. What do you think of Billy Napier getting fired in Florida? Your thoughts?
I mean, Thanos called. He says it's less than inevitable than he was. How about that? I mean, he tried to stay around as long as he could. It's a tough gig there, and I don't think the Gators are a good job right now.
Oh, I was going to ask you that. Wow. Why?
What's the incentive? Right?
I was assuming that'd be the best job available between them and Penn State. I mean, I think Florida.
Because they've taken big swings, and Napier's buyout is what it is. The only one that's in worse coach debt than they are is FSU.
Yeah, Norvell's got to go, bro. What do you think?
They can't afford to.
Yeah,
and what's going to happen? What's going to happen if you dump Norvell? Now you got head coach Malzahn.
So Napier's buyout was very small, actually. In fact, it was $21 million.
That's why they wait. $20 million is not small. A, B, they waited a year for it to reduce. I know, and that not to mention Napier did himself favors winning out. I'll put it that way.
According to the degenerate himself, Zach, Norvell's buyout is like somewhere in like $60 million.
Oh, it's nuts. Yeah, I thought it was 47, but hey, I won't.
High, no, still high.
Yeah, still you on an edible, 100%.
Absolutely. Kyle, love you, man. I miss you, brother. I mean, hopefully we get you on here week to week again, or at least
we can try next week for sure. I'm feeling good about that.
Definitely we'll get in 2 weeks to do the midterms. Definitely just to get that in, because that's our favorite pod throughout the year is the midterms. So I know you got to run, so go ahead and plug. We got to plug.
Honor, joy, and privilege. EJ Christian, of course. I am Kyle Nash, shooting the game. You can find me on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and Twitter at the SOTG. Find me on Facebook as a student of the game. Check me out on the Duval Dive with my co-host, Travis D. Holmes, my personal champion, on the Believe podcast that is the Duval Dive. Of course, Bolt Blitz Uncut, as we do record this, is on tonight, on Tuesday at 8 o'clock to talk all things Chargers. Watch for more laments of the offensive line from Booga Peters and 80 Sidewich, and we'll see if my dude Robert Gitson, Buck D, has anything else to add as well. Check that out. And of course, my writings with the Black and Gold Banneret, covering the UCF Knights, and I'm about to do Women's Basketball Media Day momentarily right after this. So yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on as per usual. EJ Christian, you sexy beast. Until next time, class dismissed.